One afternoon, I found this lying out in the road by our house. It's the tip of a tail of an eastern gray squirrel. I figured there had been a predator attack. We do have hawks, foxes, and feral cats in the area, so I looked around to see if I could find any other sign of the unfortunate victim. I found nothing. I also found it curious that there was no blood or other sign of injury around the tailpiece. I did some quick research online and learned that squirrel tails are actually designed to detach like this, during fights or during an attack, like some birds' tail feathers. My husband was skeptical. He mentioned that in all of our decades of squirrel watching, we'd never seen a squirrel missing this much of its tail before. Soon, though, my husband did start noticing a squirrel with part of its tail missing hanging around our front porch. This isn't the greatest photo, but this is a little under a month after I found the tail fragment. His fur is already obscuring the injury here. My husband christened him Floppy. I did some additional research and found some good info on Reddit. This user found a squirrel tip that looked a lot like ours on their lawn. Here, a different user is worried about his friend Jeffrey, who looks like he could be the donor of the tail tip in the previous photo. A subreddit moderator responded to the second poster with a very detailed explanation of what had happened. User Metal Chick wrote, "This is not unusual. Squirrel tails are actually meant to be lost, and there is a special name for it: degloving." Later, I recorded this video on my cell phone. I believe this is Floppy cavorting on the roof and looking for peanuts. The video captures the tail from a lot of different angles, so watch closely. While this is playing, I'll read more from the Reddit reply. User Metal Chick continues, quote, "The skin slips off the tail easily, and it is sort of ridged or ringed so that it breaks off clean. The exposed tailbone and flesh dries up quickly and naturally, causing no infection." End quote. The next detail is a little graphic. Apparently, the afflicted squirrel eats the dried up tail before it falls off. As Metal Chick writes, squirrels are loath to waste any calcium. Isn't nature wonderful? Continuing the quote, "In a few months, you will see a very long tail tuft sprout out at the end of his now square-looking tail. The tail tip grows a very long tuft to conserve the tail's utility as a social signaling device, a decoy, a sign of sexual fitness, and as a blanket/umbrella." End quote. This is definitely the case with Floppy now. If you don't know what you're looking for, you might not even notice the damage to the tail. The blue jays keep photobombing the scene. It's the time of year they hoard nuts and acorns for winter. The important thing here is that losing the tip of the tail barely affects the utility of the tail, at least in the long run. Here, Floppy demonstrates that he can leap as well as ever. Yay! Bye-bye. If you live within the range of the eastern gray squirrel, take a close look at the specimens in your area. It probably won't take long to find a squirrel who has lost the tip of his tail to a predator or a competitor. You just have to know what you're looking for. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, everyone, thank you for squirrel watching and bird watching.